Let's check out this cool new deck list featuring Galarian Darmanitan. Welcome back everyone to more from the Sableye. I'm Mitch, and today we're going to be taking a look at this Galarian Darmanitan list. I mean, it's not really fair to call it a Galarian Darmanitan list. It's mainly an Inteleon list, but it's got some pretty cool attackers from the new Vivid Voltage set, including this one and also Barraskewda. Now, this deck came second in the most recent, I think it, what was it? I'm going to tell you exactly what tournament it was. Just give me a second here. It was the Chill Series Last Chance Qualifier it came second in, so there you go. You can't say that I haven't told you exactly where it comes from, and it's actually a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff that you can do, and I will talk you through it in just a second. Thank you very much for everyone that has jumped on board recently. Had a massive influx of subscribers, and I really appreciate it, and it comes down to you. You have liked the videos regularly enough that more people are seeing it, more people are subscribing, which means that more people are liking them, which means that more people are seeing them. That's how the game works. So if you could do me a solid here, you know, just like the video. I'll like one of your videos back later. Like, I'll pay it back at some point in the future. I don't like this. This is bad. I'm gonna keep it in, but I don't like this. Just be aware that I'm not a massive fan of this. Let's just look at the deck. So here is our deck list. I'm over whatever that was, that weird thing. It's pretty solid. There's a lot of stuff going on. It obviously features the new Darmanitan VMAX, but it also has the old faithful water-type VMAX Inteleon. This is our focus of the deck. We're going to try and get this into play and then use our other attackers to support. Hydro Snipe, obviously very good. 1 energy, 60 damage, and remove an energy from the active and return it to your opponent's hand. An incredibly good 1 energy attack. Then Max Bullet for 160 damage and dealing 60 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. That can be increased with the new Telescopic Sight card, which we run 1 copy of in this list. That means you can snipe for 90, which is incredibly powerful. You can set up some really cool plays. It means that you can half hit things like the Dedenne and Crobat with the second effect of Inteleon's attack, and then later on in the game you can attack it again and get some extra value. Telescopic Sight also works with a couple of our other Pokemon in the list. Obviously, Darmanitan for 4 water energy has max whiteout, 200 damage, plus 30 to each of your opponent's benched Pokemon, which can be incredibly powerful, especially when you've got that scope on there. If you choose to attach it to Darmanitan, you can deal extra 30s on top of the 30s you're already dealing. And sometimes that can just be enough to win some games for you. 200 is also an incredibly large amount of damage. And finally, another really cool attacker. It's got a 1/1 line of Barraskewda, which is a card that not many people have been talking about. Targeted Skewer for 1 energy deals 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon for every damage counter that Pokemon has on it. Now, that means that if you've hit with a Max Bullet, there's 60 damage on a benched Pokemon, you can deal 120 with Barraskewda, and that will probably knock out most support Pokemon in the game. Things like Eldegoss, Crobat, Dedenne, if they've been sniped for 60, Targeted Skewer for 1 energy will knock them out. If you've dealt 90 damage with Telescopic Sight by using Inteleon VMAX and Max Bullet, that means you're going to be doing an extra 180 damage to one of the Pokemon on your opponent's bench, which means that things like your, what else, 180 plus, what, 90 is 270, so that's pretty much every tag team in the format is going to be able to be knocked out by Barraskewda. And I mean, if we use Zigzagoon, we can even get to things like ADP that have 280 HP, which is incredibly impressive. And if you obviously put down that Zigzagoon tick before you use your Barraskewda, you'll be dealing 200 damage, which means that most VMAX Pokemon are within range of 1 spread from max whiteout. So there's a lot of synchronicity going on here, a lot of cool combos that you can get thanks to Inteleon, Barraskewda, and Darmanitan VMAX. Obviously, we will need to power those up somehow. There's 3 energy on the Inteleon and 4 on the Darmanitan. Ice Dance Frosmoth is the way to go here. We can attach as many water energy from our hand to our benched water Pokemon as we like. That means we can easily power those guys up. And then, without any further ado, we've got Dedenne and Crobat. There's 2 copies of each of those in the deck. Now, before we move on to the rest of the list, I will point out that the V of Darmanitan has some good attacks as well. So you might actually find yourself using these. Freezing Headbutt for 50 is acceptable. Flip a coin, Paralysis, you might be able to stall out a turn with that. But Frozen Slice is actually really solid as well. It deals 190 damage, which is going to be enough to knock out, again, any support Pokemon that your opponent might have on their side of the field. But after a snipe or two, Frozen Slice might be enough to get knockouts on those VMAXs, which is 100% what we are looking to achieve. So be aware that that Darmanitan V can get knockouts. You don't always have to go for the VMAX. The rest of the deck, okay, let's look at supporters. It's a pretty straightforward supporter line. We've got 4 Research and 4 Marnie, the 2 best draw supporters in the game, as well as 2 copies of Boss as well. There's also 1 copy of Birdkeeper in this list, which is a really good supporter to have, just as a bit of backup, but also because you obviously need Frosmoth to be in the active, or at least another Pokemon to be in the active. You can't have the Pokemon that you want to accelerate to in the active, so you can use Birdkeeper. Get the, maybe stick something up like a Dedenne that you don't need, really. Put the Inteleon on the bench, and then Frosmoth all the energy to it and Birdkeeper into it. That's probably a good way to go. Worst case scenario, you could also use Air Balloon or Switch. There's 1 copy of that in here, and 2 copies of Scoop Up Net as well, so you can get a little bit of extra value from your Zigzagoon. When it comes to Pokemon Search, it's got a weird split. 4 Quick Balls, Search Out Basics, as well as 2 Pokecoms, 1 Great Ball, and 2 Evo Incense. Obviously, there are a lot of Pokemon in the deck, and there's a lot of different kind of stages of Pokemon that you want to grab as well, so it's a pretty interesting split. We have 2 Capacious Buckets and 2 Training Courts to help out with energy, and there's a total of 10 water in the deck, so you shouldn't have any problems finding them. Overall, this deck's actually really, really good. Inteleon and Darmanitan are both excellent attackers, and Barraskewda's just that little bit of extra help as well. So what we might do is we might jump into a couple of games now, see if we can get this thing to work. It might just end up being an Inteleon deck. You don't know, but you never know if we don't try. Here we go into the game here. We've won the coin flip, which is fantastic, and we will go first. We do want to make sure that we get as many basics down as we can, and this hand is not really helpful when it comes to getting those basics down, unless we top deck something. We are in a bit of strife here. We do have Pokecom, so we could turn that to Dedenne into something else, and I think it's probably best to do that. Let's throw the Dedenne away and grab ourselves an Inteleon. This way we can at least get ourselves an attack next turn. We hold onto the Training Court. Now, our opponent's got a Dunsparce in the active. I don't know what this does. I don't really want to know what it does. I just want to play. But I've got absolutely no clues as to what this deck could be. So, there's a Grimer. Alright, so we might be seeing a Alolan Muck. Maybe. I think that's the one that discards... Oh, okay. So we're seeing... this is a Toxtricity Mill deck. So we should probably... romp this one home. Being able to spread damage around with Inteleon VMAX is going to be incredibly good here. So, we'll see. We'll see whether we can get there. We don't want to discard too many cards because they might be able to outdraw us and kind of ruin our game plan. But I'm not too worried. Comes a Crushing Hammer and a Tails. I really need a shave. I want to go to the hairdressers and get a shave. Our lockdown's only going to be 3 days. It's going to end on Saturday, which is really cool. So I will be able to go out and get a haircut this weekend, which is exactly what I was planning on doing. 2 Crushing Hammers, which is really bad. Likes for haircuts, guys. Give me a like if I need a haircut. Or don't. Do whatever you want. I'm not your boss. I'm literally not your boss. I can't tell you what to do. Let's see if we can find ourselves a VMAX here. No, we can't. I don't know if we can Crobat at all. Let's grab another Inteleon. This is not ideal, but I mean, it could be worse. We'll just Rain Splash, I suppose. Do 20. We don't want to put the Inteleon in the active just yet. They're not going to discard too many energy, and if they do, we've got the Frosmoth for next turn. We've got Training Court. If they replace the Stadium, we should be fine. But yeah, no. So how are you guys going? Are you alright? I missed you. I feel like we haven't had a chance to sit down and talk one-to-one for a while. I've been so busy with Vivid Voltage coming out. That is that Alolan Muck, by the way. It's going to discard some trainer cards, which is disappointing, but I can live with it. Been so busy with Vivid Voltage, there's been so much stuff happening. That Air Balloon's annoying. I would have liked to have kept that. I haven't really had a chance to see how you're doing and what you're up to. But I presume that you're up to good stuff. You're always a pretty happy kind of person. Unless you're not, in which case this is a frankly very strange conversation and we should stop having it. Ice Dance will get 2 energy onto our Inteleon V right now. That means that we will be able to potentially get some snipe damage done pretty quickly. Here's a training court as well. We can retreat with our Arrokuda. We can use... Ooh, do we want to quick ball away this Darmanitan? Or do we just want a Marnie? I think we just want a Marnie. We are looking for a VMAX. Didn't get it. Okay, that's disappointing. At least this time we can Aqua Report and take a look at their hand and see what they've got here, whether or not we're going to have a game or not. 3 Cursed Shovels and a Grimer. Alright, we are not likely to see them do too much next turn. We know that their hand is terrible, so we have plenty of time. The good thing there is we know not to play the Marnie. We don't want to Marnie them with a terrible hand like that. They're going to throw the Toxel forward, which is an odd choice, but I mean... Oh, they've top-decked another one. There you go. Lucky them. They can play down the Grimer. They'll probably throw down each of these Cursed Shovels here. 1 on the active. They've got 1 on the other Toxtricity. They're going to hold the last one. Fair enough, just in case they get a quick ball or something. What are we going to do? I think let's just use Training Court here. We can get that energy back, and I can attach that to the Inteleon on the bench. Then we will research. We are still looking for that VMAX, which we've found. We can throw that into the active, and at this point, I feel as though we are pretty much locked in to win. There's not too much that we really need to be doing here. Let's just max bullet, or we do it. No, we don't attach the energy. We'll max bullet and put the 60 on this muck. It has 120 HP. Just checking to see that it didn't have 130. We'll lose 2 cards, but that's okay. We're not expecting our opponent to do too much here, and grabbing the boss off of the prizes means that next turn we can gust around any Cursed Shovels that do come into play. So you would think that they'll throw the Grimer up here. Oh, they're going to go with the Toxel, hoping to top deck into a Quick Ball or a Toxtricity, obviously. Wow, they actually did get into the Toxtricity. That's pretty impressive. Well, their last card's a Shovel, so they're not going to do anything. They're just going to pass, and we can just do whatever we want. We can gust up this Grimer here. We can max bullet it. I don't see any reason to do anything else. Max bullet and take the muck on the bench, and that means now we have 1 more Pokemon to knock out. They have to top deck out of it to continue this game, and I would imagine that we are going to go on cruising to victory. Fantastic stuff. No concession yet. They've top decked the research. That's pretty good. And they will discard that last Shovel, which they really should have just attached. But they can't really play down any Pokemon here, and they certainly can't play down a Dunsparce, because now we can just max bullet and knock out the active and the bench. You can see how Inteleon sniping is really good against these kind of rogue decks, the decks that don't really have too much of a flexible game plan. This Toxtricity list obviously doesn't have a super flexible game plan. It's got one thing that it wants to do, and if anything happens to slow it down, then it's in trouble. And Inteleon is going to be one of those decks. Now, we'll promote the Frosmoth here. We have the Air Balloon in hand. Hopefully they don't, stamp us. That would be bad. That would have been a very bad decision. In fact, I should have gone for literally anything else. Yeah, probably should have put the Arrokuda in the active, to be fair, but that's okay. We live and we learn. Here comes Risk Taker. They get heads, and so they will discard 5 cards from the deck. But that is not enough. We will be able to attach Air Balloon, retreat into the Inteleon, and then Max Bullet. We'll win the game. We'll take our last 2 prizes. Spread's pretty good. Spread is pretty good. In again one more time. Hopefully we can find ourselves a deck that isn't quite so rogue. We want to go first. We're looking for something maybe a little bit more meta. That would be great. We've got an Inteleon in the active, which is a pretty good starting point. Means that we can get the attachment quickly and move on with our lives. We don't want to put the Dedenne on the bench. Just got distracted there from looking at my hand. Alrighty, we are playing up against Rhyperior. This is interesting, to say the very least. Okay, what are we going to do? I think we're just going to attach to the active. We probably want to use this Quick Ball to find something like Frosmoth, so that we can get ourselves a... sorry, we want to find Snom so that we can find Frosmoth. We only have 1 Snom in the deck. That is a bit concerning. We could Dedenne now, or we could hold on to it. I kind of feel like doing it now is probably fine. We lose a little bit of resource there, but it's not the end of the world. And this looks like a pretty solid place to be. We can quick ball away a research here. Grab ourselves a Darmanitan V. I feel like that's going to be a pretty good attacker in this matchup. And then we can pass. We've got the Barraskewda in hand, so we could potentially get a knockout with that if we do get some snipe damage going on. And obviously the research is very powerful as well. We may need, though, to... or actually, they could potentially just remove this energy from our active, which would be very bad. We may need to find, like, a switch out to get this Inteleon out of the active. I'm gonna take my hand away from my face. My moustache is just too long. It's too long, guys. It's too long a moustache. Here comes Crobat, and I'll potentially draw a couple of cards, only 2. Obviously looking for a little bit of extra energy to try and get the drill run off early. If they can get that going, then that's obviously quite powerful. If they can't, then we are in a pretty good spot, I feel. Welder, just the one, so they won't be drill running this game. Or this turn, sorry, I shouldn't say this game, because there's a very good chance that they will in this game. But yeah, we're in an okay spot. We're going to be able, if we find the VMAX, to get an attack off here, do 60 damage, put them within range of a potential second attack, whatever it's called. We'll put the air balloon down, we will evolve the Barraskewda, and I think we attach to the active. Whilst we can, then we can research, try and grab ourselves a VMAX. Thank you very much, last card. Jeez, that was very close. And we can actually play down the VMAX Darmanitan as well. And then Hydro Snipe. Going to get rid of the fighting energy here, I think. Because if we give them the fire energy and they have a welder in hand but no fire energy, then that's obviously good for them. We want to give them as few outs as possible to getting their attack off. They had the Eldegoss, so they would have been able to grab that welder if I had removed the fire energy. How many energy are they going to welder for here? Just the one. So we made the right choice. They will be able to drill run this turn, but we have enough going for us that they can't get the extra attachment on, which they might have been able to do otherwise. Let's play down the training court. We've got access to energy in hand, and then money. We are looking for Frosmoth if we could find one. We can find one if we want one. We'll thin that hand down just a smidge. And then I think let's just grab our energy back with training court. We can Pokemon away the Zigzagoon. I think grabbing Frosmoth is a smart idea. And then I think we're going to... Do we accelerate it to the bench or do we just Hydro Snipe? Let's just Hydro Snipe. Because if we hold it in our hand, then we can at least guarantee that we've got a replacement energy when they go for Drill Run, which they will definitely do. But at this stage, we are winning the race, and the sooner we get that Frosmoth up, the better for us, because we've got access to a couple of pretty strong attackers. They've got the fighting energy and a boss as well, so they're going to bring the Dedenne-GX up. That's good for us because it means we can knock out this turn, which I'm a big fan of. Let's promote the Frosmoth just in case. We can use, well, we've got an energy to attach. We can use Training Court to grab one more, and I feel like ice dancing that onto Darmanitan is not a bad idea. Then let's Marnie reduce their hand down to 4 again. They're going to rely on getting Welder to get an attack off, or the Colossal on the bench, which I also don't want them to have access to. And we can just retreat into our Inteleon VMAX here and Max Bullet. And I feel like since we've got the Zigzagoon in deck, we might try and snipe down one of these roly-colies here. It's actually probably not a good idea to have done that, to be honest. Probably could have just put it on the Crobat so that we could have gone for the Barraskewda, but I feel like this is still an acceptable turn, especially since they either need Welder or a Rare Candy Colossal play to get an attack off. And they also need an attacker, guys. They need to have an attacker in the field of play. So we're in a pretty acceptable position. We'll just sit with this for a while. The bottom of my leg is really itchy. I wonder why that is. All right, back into it. God, this moustache is too long. This entire episode is just moustache talk. Because it's just, look at this. It's just so long. It's just so long. I just gotta shave. How many likes would it take for me to shave? How many likes do you think I should ask for me to shave my entire beard off? Or should I do that like, just off my own free will. This has been a weird one. This has been a weird one. If this video gets 1,000 likes, 1,000 likes, I will shave my beard off. In a day. 1,000 likes in a day. So as in, it comes out at 12 o'clock, right? 12 o'clock midnight my time. If by the next released video, this video has 1,000 likes on it, I will shave my beard off. I don't think we're going to get to 1,000 likes. If we do, that would be incredibly impressive. I don't know whether or not I'm going to be able to back up that plan, by the way. Let's Ice Dance. We've got some energy. We can attach it to the Darmanitan here. Then we can... I should have attached one of those to the Inteleon. I was too busy talking about my beard. It's alright, we've got plenty of energy left. I don't want to have to play Marnie. Am I going to have the Dedenne? Oh my goodness. Let's grab the Zigzagoon here. We'll play it down. Oh my god, my entire game plan has been thrown out completely. We'll play it down, put some damage on the Jirachi just in case we do get an energy to max bullet. I probably don't want a Marnie, they've only got 2 cards. Let's the Dedenne. Dedenne for 6. Find an energy. Yikers. It's okay. This is fine. Because, I guess we're just setting up for the Darmanitan now. We'll Hydro Snipe, we'll remove that fighting energy again. They've only got 2 cards in hand, so they can probably only do a little bit to me. They might be able to deal 80, which won't be enough to get the knockout. And then we can switch and retreat and stuff and go from there. So it's fine, we're fine. We're fine. Oh my god, we're getting bossed. Goodbye, Dedenne. Goodbye, Dedenne. He's getting knocked out. Tar Generator as well. Wonder where these energies are going to go. They might actually go to Colossal, to be fair. Looks like that is where they are going. The Drill Run will take the 2 prizes on Dedenne. Okay, so now what are we going to do? We're going to figure out how we're going to get some energy. We'll promote the Frosmoth. It's actually a bad play. I'm playing badly. Let's Great Ball here. We can throw the Great Ball down. No Pokemon, as to be expected. We don't have any energy left from the Training Center. We will play down the Telescopic Sight. That seems like a pretty good card to grab. Then what we can do is we can switch into the Inteleon, right? Be intelligent. Switch into the Inteleon and then retreat. Into the Darmanitan to grab one of those energies back from the discard pile. We can attach it manually, and then we can Crobat if we'd like to grab a few extra cards. There is an energy. We also have a boss if we want it. I don't really, to be honest. Do we attach, or do we just max wide out? I feel like we just we can afford to attach. Let's use the attachment onto Barraskewda, then we can max wide out, take a knockout in the active, and deal a whole bunch of damage on the bench. And now Barraskewda can take a knockout on either of the GX or V Pokemon on our opponent's side of the field, because Crobat and Eldegoss both have 60 damage on them. 120 on top of that with Barraskewda will take the knockout. So we are more than capable of doing it. We just have to hope that there's no boss from our opponent. If there is, we could be in trouble, because that Crobat that we played down will be able to be gusted and knocked out by a Colossal on the bench. But, you know, hey, we should be fine. If it looks like there's a little red unhappy face there, and yes, we do end up winning. So Barraskewda would have won the game for us there. So would have Darmanitan, to be honest. I'm regretting that last game. I'm regretting saying that I would do that I would shave my beard off. I'm worried now that it will get 1,000 views, which is an obnoxious amount of not 1,000 views, 1,000 likes. That's an obnoxious amount of likes to get. But there's that little bit of fear in me because I like my beard. I don't really want to get rid of it. But if the video got 1,000 likes, that would also be insane. This hand is not insane. This is what we call in the business a bad hand. We at least have an attachment, and we're playing against Morpeko. Oh my god, this could end very quickly. Because Morpeko, if it gets itself going, can very easily get some quick damage counters down. Obviously, this deck is very popular thanks to Azul Garcia Grigo. If you haven't heard of him, you're watching me and you haven't heard of Azul GG, then you might want to go and have a look, because this is a pretty cool deck. It's got an Orbeetle in it. It's pretty strong, pretty cool. There is a lot going on, and the Telescopic Sight coming down, and the money! Alright, we're being given a fresh hand of 4. I don't mind so much, because this hand was bad. So let's take a look at another 4 cards and see if they're any better. They are way better! Okay, cool, so we can actually do something this game. We are, though, going to need to hope that we don't get destroyed by a bunch of Morpeko, because Inteleon, if you hadn't noticed, is a Pokemon that's weak to lightning, so we're giving away 3 free prizes here. We'll grab a Snom off of the Quick Ball. We also have Crobat, so we can draw some extra cards. We can grab 5 more here. We've got a lot of good stuff here. I like this a lot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this, I think. I don't really think that we need to do anything other than just sit here and Hydro Snipe, because that's pretty much the only thing that is going to happen anyway. They've got 2 cards, so the chances of them getting 2 energy on the Morpeko and the VMAX this turn is pretty slim. And they're playing down Fion and Research. Okay, so there's the attack for you, 150 damage to the maximum amount it does. So we should be able to survive for a bit. This Pokemon communication is either going for the VMAX or the Coco. Here comes Orbeetle VMAX, obviously a very powerful card in this format. You've seen it with Sableye. It's done well by itself. We've got an Ampharos list that I'm thinking about. There you go. There's a realistic like target. If we get 150 likes on it, if we get 150 likes, I will try and look into Ampharos Orbeetle pretty soon. And if we get 1,000, I'll shave my beard off. There you go. How's that? How's that? A couple of extra energy. Can they find the VMAX and the Coco? I can't remember if they've already searched for the Coco. They may have. They may have. I'm not sure. Quick Ball. Getting rid of... There's the Coco, so they do have it. Do they have the VMAX? That's the question. Dance of the Ancients is going to get energy onto both Morpekos, so the Morpeko with the thingamajig on it is going to be well and truly within range of getting a big knockout here if they can find the VMAX. They need the VMAX. I cannot stress enough how much they need the VMAX right now. Is it happening? Doesn't look like it's happening. They might be retreating and then hitting me for 300, which is... it's pretty bad. It's pretty significant. Quick Ball, they're going to go for one last look. Oh, I need a nap. They're going to go for one last look with Crobat, looking for that VMAX. 3 more cards. Can they get it? Can they get it? I'm concerned. I'm concerned about Grudged. Promotes the Morpeko, and then Electro Wheel. Okay, so we survive. That's pretty good. I'm happy about that, frankly. And what we can actually do here is we can set this Morpeko up so that if they do get the VMAX, we might actually be able to knock it out with Barraskewda, which is pretty cool. We've got the Telescopic Sight, which is very, very good. We've got an Energy, we've got Training Court, which we can play down, and we can also play Professor's Research, which I like a lot. So let's just have a think here. I think that the best play is to attach the Telescopic Sight and the Energy, then play Research. We can max bullet into the active here, and then put 10 damage down if we find the Zigzagoon, which we do. We do find the Zigzagoon. We've got the Air Balloon as well. I feel like we might need the Darmanitan VMAX later in this game, but I want to draw some more cards. Let's play the Zigzagoon down, because we're definitely going to do that. We're going to play that down. We are going to put 1 damage counter on our opponent's Pokemon. We're going to put it onto the Morpeko with the Telescopic Lens. This one over here, so that it can get... it'll get to within 100, right? And then we need to go looking for Barraskewda. I think that's what we're going to do. I feel like that's the best thing to do. Let's do that. Then we can Dedenne. We need to find Arrokuda here. We found Quick Ball. That is 1 Arrokuda. Good news. Okay, so We don't want the Darmanitan V just yet, but we can use it for Frozen Slice, which I really like. We will Quick Ball one of them away, and we will grab the Arrokuda. Great, it's in the deck. We can play that down, and then we can Max Bullet, hit the benched Morpeko for 90. This means now Barraskewda, if we have it, can deal 200 to it, which should knock out Morpeko VMAX, because I think Morpeko VMAX has 300 HP, so as long as it is on the bench, we can knock that out pretty comfortably. We also have Darmanitan V and Zigzagoon, so if it does come into the active and stays in the active, then we can potentially get a knockout that way. We have the Evo Incense, which is good. That's either Frosmoth or Barraskewda, plus an energy in hand. They're going to Spark here and knock out their the Inteleon, which is completely fair and reasonable. I do not begrudge them that at all. And Amani, that's disappointing, but it's not unexpected. All we need to do is find Energy Barraskewda this turn, right? So as long as we draw into a draw supporter, we should be fine. And we've got a Research and an Evolution Incense, which is pretty good. The Training Court will provide us the energy, provided that it doesn't get replaced. It doesn't. Here comes the Spark. They're going to knock out the active and then place 40 onto the Snom. Fair enough. We've got Evo Incense, we've got Training Court, which means we're going to knock out on the benched Morpeko. Scoop Up Net as well is pretty good. Let's go for the Great Ball, see what we can find. I like the Frosmoth there, that's a pretty good get. And we can play the Evo Incense now as well and grab ourselves the Barraskewda, which we obviously need. We're going to attach, or we're going to not attach, evolve the Frosmoth. We are going to play down the Barraskewda. We have access to Training Court for energy, but I think we probably want to scoop up the Zigzagoon here and just place it. I think on the active, that seems like the most logical place to go. I don't think it actually matters, but we want to make sure that we can at least do something. Then we get the energy, we can attach that, and then research. We leave the Frosmoth in the active, just in case. Got a Quick Ball and a couple of energy here, which I really like, so we can Quick Ball away the Frosmoth to grab ourselves. I think we want to grab the Darmanitan, not the Inteleon actually, because Frozen Slice is going to be a really big attack here. We can play that down. We've got 2 energy in hand, so we can Ice Dance those onto Darmanitan. And suddenly it's all coming alive here. We've got all the things that we need now. We can... Do we play the Scoop Up Net? I don't think we... Oh, do we? We might play it. Let's just do it. Let's just play it. Pick up the Zigzagoon. We may as well play it down and put another 10 damage somewhere. We'll put it on the active. Doesn't really matter. Then we can Targeted Skewer, deal 200 damage to that really annoying Morpeko on the bench. It is gone, and now we just need an energy and a boss, which we've taken off of the prizes. So, we've taken 2 off of the prizes. Fantastic. That's the only 2 bosses in our deck. If we didn't get either of them, then we were absolutely stuffed. Wowzers. And there's the VMAX. So they did eventually get it, but this time, when they attack, they're only going to be taking 1 prize, and we, as long as we hold our hand, have the game. Because Training Court will provide us the energy, and Boss will give us the Dedenne, which we can knock out with Darmanitan V. All we need is energy. So it doesn't matter here that Max Discharge is going to take a knockout on Barraskewda and do 30 to everything else, or 20 to everything else. Does not matter. Because we will be set and ready to go. Now they've suddenly got heaps of Morpeko VMAXs. Couldn't find it before, which is good. They're going to go forward to Dedenne, it looks like, to discard their entire hand and draw a bunch of other cards. Could potentially be the way. Yeah, looks like that's what they're doing. Discard their hand and drawing a bunch. They actually discarded a reset stamp there. They could have completely ruined us. Oh, they have with that Chaotic Swell, so that's annoying, to say the very least. Whirlpool Suction does suck, but it's not the end of the world, because we can just throw up our Frosmoth, I think. Doesn't really... Oh, actually, let's just put the Zigzagoon up, because they're going to knock it out anyway. This way we give ourselves options, just in case. Here comes Professor's Research. I think they were looking for the knockout on our Darmanitan there. Trying to find a boss. There's the Max Discharge, 20 damage on all of our benched Pokemon. And now all we need to do is find an energy. So let's go for it. What we're going to do is we're going to Quick Ball to do a bit of thinning. Get rid of the boss here. We'll grab, I don't know, Inteleon. Seems fine. Yeah, we're just going to discard it anyway. So let's just grab that. We need 1 of 3 energy and 1 bucket. to get ourselves the win here. We'll play down the air balloon just in case everything goes horribly wrong. Then we'll gust up Dedenne, and we are looking for 1 energy off of this Dedenne-GX to win us the game. There it is. There's our 1. We've got it. What we need to do now is just retreat into our Galarian Darmanitan, and then Frozen Slice for 190 to take the last 2 prizes of the game. This deck is a lot of fun. I frankly really enjoyed myself. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A really, really cool water deck that you can have a lot of fun with, a lot of spread damage, get some value out of cards like Darmanitan and Barraskewda, which is super, super powerful in Inteleon. A really, really cool pickup for you if you are looking to play this deck. Thank you everyone for coming along. Don't forget to hit the realistic like target of 150 likes to get that, what was it, Ampharos and Orbeetle, I think it was. I think that's what I said it was. And yeah, if we get to 1,000, then I will be very, very cleanly shaven, which I don't like the idea of. Please don't like this video. Goodbye everyone.